The Costly Decision, Omar's Tale from Ancient Egypt. Have you ever made a decision so small, yet so costly that it changed your life forever? Imagine this. You're a farmer. Your barns are full. Your fields have blessed you with abundance. And yet, in just a few months, you're left with nothing. Nothing but regret. How? Well, let me take you back to ancient Egypt, to the tale of a man named Omar. Omar was a man of great fortune, or so he believed. The fields around him, lush and golden, bore witness to his prosperity. He was not a man burdened by caution, nor was he a man who believed in the necessity of planning for the future. Why should I? He often asked himself. The fields are endless, and the gods have blessed me with abundance. But the seasons of life, like the Nile, are ever-changing. Omar's neighbor, Yusef, an elderly farmer with many years of wisdom, often warned him. Omar, my friend, a wise man stores his grain. The Nile may flood, the locusts may come, and the winds may turn against you. But Omar only laughed. Why should I hoard like a frightened mouse when I can feast like a king? Omar's wealth to him was endless. He spent lavishly, indulging in the finest luxuries of the time, silk garments, golden trinkets, and the sweetest wines. The idea of storage and preparation seemed absurd. He was a man of the present, not one burdened by the worries of tomorrow. And then the winds changed. One evening, as Omar sat basking in the glow of his success, the sky darkened. The winds howled, carrying with them an ominous presence. A dust storm, fierce and relentless, swept across the land, swallowing everything in its path. His once golden fields, the very foundation of his wealth, were stripped bare. The winds showed no mercy, and when the storm passed, it left behind only barren land and despair. Omar stood in shock, the grains of sand slipping through his fingers like the wealth he had once taken for granted. He ran to where his granaries should have stood, but they were empty. He had not stored a single grain. The laughter, the feasting, the careless abundance, it was all gone. As the weeks turned to months, hunger gnawed at him. His wealth, once a river flowing endlessly, had dried up. With nothing left, he found himself standing in a long line outside the pharaoh's granary, begging for food alongside those he once considered beneath him. He, who could have been the one selling, was now the one pleading. Regret, bitter and unyielding, settled upon his shoulders. He remembered Yusef's words, the warnings he had ignored. If only he had stored his grain. If only he had thought beyond the moment. But time, like the lost harvest, could not be reclaimed. Omar's mistake was not just about wheat. It was about wealth, about wisdom, about the folly of thinking that good times last forever. History has proven time and time again that economies shift, fortunes fade, and those who fail to prepare are left at the mercy of fate. The lesson is timeless. It applies not just to farmers of ancient Egypt, but to all of us today. Are you prepared for the storms of life? Are you storing your grain, securing your future, or are you living in the illusion that abundance will never end? So tell me, are you storing your grain, or are you spending like there's no tomorrow? Let's talk in the comments. What's your biggest lesson about saving and investing?